them are more than pals.
Our show can be a little gay,
But if you're not,
that's okay.
you can listen and have fun either way. Xena, Star Wars, Doctor Who, guests and music and reviews. Game of Thrones, Winona too. We promise there's something for you. She nerds out. We're girls that like nerdy things. Nerdy things.
Hello and welcome to the She Nerds Out podcast. I'm Kat.
I'm Wendy.
And this is Tara.
We are coming to you live from the Xenite Retreat. We are actually softball tournament adjacent.
Yep.
And guys, it's a beautiful day.
It is a nice day for softball.
So
a little breezy, but
setting the
otherwise
scene, we're here under a beautiful large tree. I don't know what kind of tree. An oak tree. Okay.
Mighty oak.
Looking out at some beautiful mountains. We're here in Lake Hughes, California, so it's about an hour north of L.A.
Why don't I capture it in a photo for our viewers?
I already did that, but you can too.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. There's enough for everybody.
The wind is blowing in the trees. It's beautiful. You're going to get the sounds of the game, the sounds of the wind,
Yeah.
the sounds of the cowbell. It's native to this area.
It is. And we've been here since yesterday. So we came up Saturday, and we've had a great time.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little tired. I had a lot of different mixes of alcohol starting at about 1 p.m. yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
And then everyone's so friendly, and they just walk around with bottles of alcohol, and they're like, "Hi, do you want to be friends? You can take a sip from my alcohol bottle."
That was
And then you
happening
do that,
quite
and
a bit.
then you're friends.
Friends forever. And we've run into some SNOPtars.
Oh, yeah.
Several.
So, of course, T2 and
T2's
Martina.
over here. Martina's here.
And some other fine folks.
Rita from Portugal.
That's right.
Amanda,
She's keeping us big in Portugal.
There's two Amandas.
2 Amandas.
Jill,
A Liz.
Jill.
Liz.
Yeah, Liz.
and Mickey.
Yeah.
Yes. Mickey in their ambulance.
Yes.
The ambulance.
But no, we've had a great time. The musical was last night.
Yeah. That was impressive. That was fun. It was an outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah.
It was the cast, they had their scripts and they were singing and reading and whenever there was like a stunt fight will be inserted here, they would hold up a sign that said
It's
stunt
really cute.
fight.
And then they would do like a musical interlude.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was and then they even had during intermission, Aphrodite, they sold shot glasses and you could buy 1 or 2 shots and you had a little bottle of some sort of alcohol.
It was expression.
Yeah.
Expression. And
Yeah.
so Aphrodite had everyone drink their expression
Yeah.
potion.
And it worked into the plot of the
Yes.
musical
It did.
in a clever and fun way.
So we got 2 shots, and then we got to drink 1 before and then 1 at intermission. Yeah. And I'm going to do, what day is it today?
What day is
Oh.
it today?
Xenite Retreat Day, and it's softball day. That's what I'm saying.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
This is
Because it's a tournament, and it's the crap league. It's named for all 4 teams.
Which are what?
I was hoping you could remember.
Did we figure out the C?
Cutthroats,
Cutthroats.
Ravens, Amphipolis, and Potidea.
There it is.
Nice.
Yes.
Crap.
Well done.
They even
Wendy.
put a sign up. We didn't make that up.
No.
Penny told us this was the thing.
We would never say that.
No.
But they're leaning into it.
They are leaning,
There's a
appreciate
sign.
that.
leaning into the crap.
Yeah. So we're out here with stands full of people.
Yeah.
We're kind of under this tree in the shade.
We are.
And we're watching. There's Penny. Hi, Penny.
I believe.
Oh.
Is that,
And
is
her
that
daughter-
is
that's her
Jacqueline
daughter,
Kim pitching?
Oh.
She might be.
I think
I
she's
think that
pitching.
is Jacqueline Kim.
Things you never thought you'd do back when
Huh.
you were watching Xena in the day. Be sitting outside at a softball game watching Jacqueline Kim pitching
I
in
mean,
the Xena softball league.
She's
Yeah.
like very. It's
Look
pretty,
at that. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
a little low.
She's got a
Little
good
low.
arm though. She's got a good arm. She's getting warmed up.
Yeah.
Just needs a little more lift to the pitch.
Yeah.
Penny's here. Hi, Penny.
Hi. Is that mic live?
It is now. Do you want to say hello?
Sit down, Penny.
Why is it? Actually, it's not live.
Penny has nothing better to do this weekend than to join us because
Somehow
Not
Penny
live.
is.
I'm going to give you my microphone, Penny.
Penny
Oh.
is running this whole show, and with Team Awesome, and I don't know how she's doing it, but then somehow she's
don't
also
either.
playing softball. She's on
I know.
Potidea, right?
I am on the battling buds of Potidea. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I got nothing left in this tank.
Did you sleep?
I actually did sleep.
Okay.
I did sleep pretty decently.
What time did you get up this morning?
7 a.m. Not bad. Not bad.
When
I
did you
went to bed
go
at
to sleep last
only
night?
1:30. So like,
Oh.
I mean, there's some people here that are running on like an hour or so of sleep.
Yeah.
Wow.
We heard them all hours of the night when we were
Yeah.
going to sleep.
Yeah.
in
We
our
didn't know
yurt.
about Club Banyo till last night. Yeah,
well,
we
now
heard
you
all
do.
about it.
Now
Yeah.
we do.
So I'm sure there'll be a reprise
Party
tonight after the
is-
Married with Fish Sticks dance.
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh man.
Which is going to be. We have a real mermaid coming.
A real one from
Yeah.
where? Which
The
water
fucking
source?
ocean,
Oh yeah.
Tara.
Well, which
Where do you
ocean? Which the ocean?
Poseidon's
Penny. Which
ocean.
one? Yeah. Oh, Poseidon.
Poseidon's.
Okay.
I'm not sure. We'll have to find it. We'll have to. Why don't you go and ask her?
Are you? Is she going to be in a body of water while
No.
they're here? Okay.
God, no.
On land.
I can coordinate some stuff, but
Okay.
there's a limit. Although I will say I did try.
I didn't know if the pond was available or like if
Several
they
ponds around
needed
here with
to
ducks.
be like a little baby pool at least for her fin or whatever that.
I know there's
Tail?
clamshells
Oh.
involved.
I can see where this is going.
I mean, it is Xenite Retreat. There are
Clamshells and
Xena
only
fans involved.
clamshells.
Yeah, no, but the energy here is just incredible, and I'm like, I am running on fumes, but suddenly I just got this top up of energy when I just hit the field. I'm like, let's do it, let's have fun.
Yeah, this is great. So is there another
Hi, Wendy.
round?
Can I just say something? Having stayed here the night, it's the first time we've all stayed together.
Yeah.
Penny, this is amazing. You've done an incredible thing.
Oh,
it's such
thank
a
you.
great vibe. We're just very proud of you. You're, and don't ever let this stop because we need this in our lives.
No pressure.
Oh, thank you. I'm really glad you said something because I was deciding that this should be the last year. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That would have been a
Oh, no.
yes. Break.
No, as long as people still want to come, we'll do it. We keep getting bigger and bigger, and I keep expecting every year to be like, oh, this is the year that no one's going to want to come, and we're not going to, like, we're going to have to, it's going to be a small, intimate camp. And, I mean, yeah, this is our biggest year. And
Wow.
I'm ready for it to get bigger, so
Yeah.
let's
So
do it.
Penny,
Yeah.
next year, we already have musical plans in place. That there's
okay.
Did you ever hear about the Sublimes?
The band?
It's a Xena
Not
group that
Sublime.
performed
The
the Sublimes,
Oh,
consisting.
I'm
It's
so
it
sorry.
would be myself, Tara, Linda Christ, and Dee. And
Okay.
come back
Oh.
next year. We'll have a special performance for you
Oh, right. Amazing.
that hasn't been seen in years.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There's a
excellent.
reason for
Let's
that.
talk,
But
let's
This
talk.
is
We're gonna
assuming we
bring
can
it
fit
back.
back into our
is this,
outfits.
Is this
Yeah.
Xena Turner?
This would be Xena Turner.
I have her. Oh,
Dee wants
my
to get
gosh,
the
I'm
band
so
back
happy.
together.
I'm so.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Dee's first year, and like, where has she been all my life?
Yeah.
Do you know
Had
what
you
I mean?
not? Had you not met
Have you
her?
never met Dee? before?
Dee is
Wow.
amazing. Dee is
Her
Yeah,
energy
she is.
level is
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
She is. She donated this amazing like Xena standee cutout thing.
Oh, that's hers.
Motion sensor.
Yeah.
She gave it to us,
Oh,
and I'm
cool.
like, this needs like it brings me so much joy to just walk into the tavern at 7 a.m. in the morning, 6:30 a.m. whenever, and you just hear. Oh, and there's like little like things she says as well, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is what was missing.
It's pretty great.
All this years.
Yeah. It's just
amazing.
like the perfect greeting.
I have to say these new campers are incredible. 63 new virgins this year.
Wow.
Which we always
Amazing.
worry that it's going to like throw off the balance. Here's one. Christine, yeah. And it doesn't. They just embrace everything and
Fall right in.
yeah.
Christine was part of the costume contest yesterday. Yeah.
Yes. Oh
As-
my gosh.
Dressed
the
as Gabrielle.
Very good, Gabrielle.
In
costume.
fact,
Yes.
at one point, no lie, I looked over. You were at one of the tables, and I was like, "Fucking Renee O'Connor showed up in costume." Like, I thought I was looking at Gabrielle, and obviously I'm not. And maybe I was delirious because I was very tired yesterday. But I, no joke, was like, "That's Gabrielle," which I mean, she doesn't exist, so you know. But like, yeah, you really did. That was so and thank you for showing up.
Yeah. It was a great turnout at the
So
costume
good.
contest.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
the 3 Married with Fish Sticks girls. Jose as a centaur.
Yes.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
So good. Did you hear
Yeah.
about the charity? Were you there for the
Oh,
band?
we were
my
there.
God, we were there.
Yeah, tell us about
Cool.
that, Penny, because that was intense.
Okay, so can I tell you that all of our merch burnt in a fire, in a freak fire this year,
Oh,
7
my
days
God.
before retreat.
No.
Yeah, 7 days. And a merch order, the run that we do, takes 10 days. So I had to call my supply company and be like, I need that order again. But this time with no mistakes and faster. And we need to ship it to California to get here by this day. And it was very expensive. So this year our banner and our silent auction, which usually we do we donate all of the proceeds to various charities and causes. This year, we needed to cover the fire first and foremost, and I was so bummed because, I mean, obviously we had to do that. I didn't want to make the campers pay, and I couldn't be in the hole because we're running a very tight ship this year, and so I was like, well, this is just what we have to do, and I was just so disappointed that we weren't going to have that charity aspect because that's so, like.
It's on brand.
Yeah, and it's so integral to like the whole Xena mission, and so I was like, we just need to hit that magic number, and then like even if it's $100 over, we can say like charity. Anyway, in how long was it was 2 hours, I think, 2.5 hours. We hit just over $18,500.
Wow.
Amazing.
What the fuck?
People were dropping like $3,000 and $4,000 on some of them.
3 people were fighting over one banner. At one point, there were discussions that a polycule had formed, and the 3 campers and the banner. We were talking joint custody, and then I just said, listen. I mean, they were going back and forth, and they hit $4,000, and someone was really reluctant to go over the 4K mark, and I said, listen, if you're all fine with it, I'll print you all a banner, and we'll get Renee to sign them all. Which I hope she says yes to, because otherwise she will, because she's incredible. Yeah. She's so wonderful. And you can all have a banner. And if you all want to pay $4,000, then we'll get. And they said yes. So one banner alone, designed by Sarah Benninger, it was a Gabrielle banner, of course, Hero's Journey, from Village Girl all the way to like holding that chakram, raised $12,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
In like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and like you said, it was like a heated. Battle for the bidding. It was really fun to watch.
And one of the girls, bless her heart, oh God, I love her so much, Jess Ecoid, she didn't want to outbid because she felt guilty. She's like, this person wants this so much, I don't want to outbid you. But I really want it too. Yeah. She's like, the morals are stopping me from bidding, which isn't that cute?
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys were able to pay back what you lost in the fire and then plus give some to charity. But you know what? Keeping this running and getting you guys out of a hole because of a fire is important too.
Oh yeah,
because I mean this helps you keep going to then in the future give more to charity, and so I think no one would have a problem with, up to whatever you all lost. Yeah, the money going to that, and then above and beyond. But they just want to keep you all in.
And the amount that you give, not only to charity, but the experience you create for everyone here is priceless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we have a scholarship fund, right? So that to me is really important, because the more scholarships we have, the more people who can come who need it but aren't in a position to buy a ticket. And so I have to keep reminding myself that our scholarship is just as important as the other causes out there, because then, I mean, it grows this community. Yeah. Can I tell you another funny story?
Yeah, please.
Paul. All right. See ya. Bye. Paul Robert Coyle, who wrote the Velasca character, Sent in the Clones. He showed up yesterday with some books. He's got a book out, and he bought 10 books, and he's like, if by some miracle they sell out, they can get my book on the website, right? And I was like, you bought how many? 10. Oh, mate. Oh, my friend. So he just was so blown away. He was very overwhelmed, dumbfounded that there were so many of us. He's like, it's 25 years, was 27 years now later. Where are all these people coming from? Like, what is this? I was like, you have no idea. Obviously, like,
yeah,
we're very here. Cool. Xena lives.
It's so awesome.
It's the community word. That's it.
Yeah.
You're creating. You're keeping the community going.
Well, everybody's keeping the community going. I'm just like saying, hey, let's do it here.
You're giving them a place. Yeah.
You couldn't found a better spot. I mean, everything, the camp is nice. I was just saying this morning how immaculate the bathrooms are. I mean, it's a very nice place. We slept in a yurt, which was awesome, and even better once we found the heating unit, because it was in the 40s last night. But just top-notch facilities.
Yeah, I mean, I just think of the people sitting at home, like, that have no place to go like this with the community, and thinking, what am I going to do? And I have no way to get there. And then your scholarship really offers them that opportunity too. And it's just, knowing that there are people out here. There are people that when you play softball, if you get hurt, they will run to your aid and help you up and help you. You can see this right now. They're going to make sure that you're okay.
There we go, standing up.
There's a really great community of people out here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a very spreading the positivity of just everything at this camp.
This camp. I won't say their name just in case, but this camper really has just embodied the spirit of retreat and is just so excited, just so overwhelmed again with everything, and just it's like Christmas morning.
Yeah. It's refreshing because, like you said, this is your first time back in a couple of years. There's the virtual retreat, but just to be together is just really special.
Yeah, and sometimes like conventions, you see people come alone and they just kind of wander around the halls and they leave alone. Whereas these people, we have a lot of people who came solo, not knowing a single soul, and they've all got friends now.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like you do a good job promoting. Like you've got 6 different teams,
nations.
There's a lot nations.
They're nations. She doesn't like it if you don't call them nations.
Nations. Sorry, 6 different nations. And I've seen there's cabin decorating contest. Spirit, I guess you're trying to get spirit points, kind of like a Hogwarts point.
Absolutely, it's exactly like that.
But I know I keep calling them houses by accident.
It gives them groups to do things to interact with your fellow nation members and, all these activities, which I know as a quiet person myself, I get to know people better if I can do things like play softball or events or some kind of interactive activity. And it provides that. And there's all sorts of fun things to do to get to know other people.
Exactly.
You can go and do art. There's just constant. There's hikes in the morning that I would never do here too early for me. But T2 has participated in both hikes.
Oh, yeah. Melanie made it to first base.
All right.
Woo.
Oh, it's a race to third. All right. They're there. Made it. Woo.
Stand up at
Oh, man.
It's a very festive atmosphere. But yeah, you had the musical last night. You have a dance party tonight.
Pajama party.
Pajama party going
with
on.
Adrian today.
Pajama party. Onesies contest for the best pajamas. Volleyball competition later. Velasquez Vengeance.
Oh my God.
Velasquez hurling.
Volleyball, wasn't it?
How many people does Team Awesome consist of that helps?
Well, this year's quite small. We have 14 people this year to wrangle 180 something folks.
Wow.
It was over 200 the other night when we had the musical all in as well. So it's rough, but and none of us are professionals either. I mean, we are professional, but this is not our job.
Yeah.
We all have full-time jobs. Some of us have 2 full-time jobs.
Oh my God.
And children. It's insane. But we do it, and it's. Thanks to the campers for being, the first day because of the fire, we were very off schedule at the beginning of the morning, which never happens. It was so frantic to start the weekend, a little behind schedule, but everyone was so chill and just happy to be together that it, I think I was the only one that cared. Yeah. But our theme this year is better late than never, and it's shining through in so many different ways.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. That's a great theme.
Well, I'm so glad you all came out.
Thank you, Penny.
Yeah.
This was amazing.
A treat. We'll come as long as you invite us. We'll be here.
I kept saying yesterday, I'm so glad we don't have to leave. We're staying the night. We can just enjoy all this and be in the atmosphere in the yurt. And
Wendy loves the yurt.
I can't get over the
I
yurt.
think I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
The yurt is peaceful, the wood.
It's very peaceful.
And then the beautiful lighting that comes through the top.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've seen the photos from the yurt, there was an escape room in one of the yurts. And the photos are so dramatic and incredible. They're awesome.
Yeah, there's a skylight, like a built-in skylight in the yurt.
We had some campers who got the surprise. Adrian Wilkinson crashed one of the escape sessions and was figuring out the cruise. And we have Jacqueline Kim here right now playing softball.
She's pitching.
Yeah.
Yes. Lama can dole those with her hands or her eyes.
She's got moves, man.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
And
Psyching them out.
A little low, but they swung.
It up.
Looks like
a it's safe.
Outran the first baseman.
Oh man.
Lama
Oh, and the RBI, yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. We're none of us are taking any of this seriously. It's the crap league, literally.
That's what I said, but I said, Penny, they're leaning into it. We're not just
Sarah,
the crap
Rome,
league.
Amphipolis, Podadia. That's it.
Well, be proud, Penny. Be proud of what you've created.
Yeah.
Keeping the Xena spirit alive.
Well, just to give a little bit of foundation.
Yeah.
Before my first convention, I was obsessed with obviously Xena, right? But we had all the convention DVDs that we would watch, and we had all of the Deb Abbott, Wendy Woody videos that we were
Oh, hell yeah.
Obsessed with. And so when I showed up as like this bright-eyed little virgin from Australia who just wanted to go and like live her best Xena life, and then run into Wendy Woody and couldn't say a word, run into Mask, she's an incredible music video as well, in the bar, like just speechless because I was so like I see that now in faces of new campers. But you were all so like welcoming, and it was just to be embraced into the fandom is what you taught me, and you too, Kat, like, you know, like taught me about fandom. Like you to us when we invited you to the softball, like you were Kat Crimmins, you know? We were like, oh my God.
She was that to us too when we first we started just like, Kat Crimmins, do you think she'll know who we even are? Like, will she acknowledge us?
Kat Crimmins is going to come play softball with us. We were like losing our shit.
Well, and I mean, when you talk about Wendy Woody is an icon within this fandom.
Oh, absolutely.
And she doesn't like to... Look how uncomfortable she is right now.
No, it's true.
But then you get to know everybody, and we're just a bunch of nerds hanging out who love the same thing.
I have been summoned. I must leave.
Oh,
Thank you.
I will.
Thank you so much.
paper.
Yes,
Hope
thank you.
everything's
Thank you
okay.
for coming. I will
Thank you
see
for having
you around
us.
later.
We appreciate it. We love
All right,
you. We love
good
you
luck.
very much.
Yes.
The love is
We
so
love you.
mutual. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Penny.
Penny's gone, so let's talk about Penny.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just in awe of. I feel like we say this whenever we talk to her or about her. I'm just in awe of her. What she has put together. The perseverance, it's so much work.
If you ever had to manage a project which involves multiple people, times that by 100, and then also again by 100, and then you have this.
There are so many moving parts. There are so many different things happening all at the same time.
It's so detailed down to when you're eating in Meg's Tavern, and even when you go outside to the outside tables, there's indoor seating, there's outdoor seating, there's banners everywhere. It's beautiful. But then you go to the tables, and the napkin holder things that, like the plastic napkin holders, you know, like the dispensers, have a Xenite Retreat logo in them.
It's
like that kind of detail.
They have thought of everything.
Right.
And
I mean,
you can participate as much or as little as you want.
Right.
And there's no pressure. People are always just happy to say hi as you're walking by. I'm just so proud of her.
Yeah.
Listening to her say how she was this like shy, doe-eyed young Australian.
I remember that, Penny.
And now look at her.
Yeah.
She's an incredible woman. And
We laid the groundwork so the following generation could run and advance what we as the Xena elders had done.
And I do feel like an elder, mostly the old part. But, you know, when the convention stopped happening, there was, you know, obviously the big Xena convention every year in Southern California. When those ended, we had nowhere to go. This, you know, all this community had nowhere to go, and she fixed that. And she and her team have created this incredible thing. Just can't say enough good things about her, all of her team, awesome volunteers, and the entire event. I'm just in awe of the whole thing.
You know, she could have just even done, I mean, I don't know, like legally, I don't know if she could have done a convention, but like she could have just had a normal get together with maybe some vendors, some of the stars showing up. But she did a camp with activities and meals. I mean, this is like a full out amazing camping experience.
the meals are good.
It's good food.
Yeah,
This
delicious.
morning, I had scrambled eggs, delicious hash browns, brioche French toast. That I had chocolate chips were available
And
to put that
some
on.
sort of chicken apple sausage. I'm not sure what it was, but it was delicious.
I had some grits. I didn't realize they were grits when I got them, but I finished them.
They were surprise grits.
They were. I thought it was oatmeal.
Surprise! I'm grits.
Yeah.
But no, it's I mean, we just can't say enough good things about this whole weekend.
Yeah.
And the fact that she just let us come up here and hang and
She
do
gave
a
us
podcast.
she gave us a yurt.
All of our own yurt.
And we're back. We have a very special guest. Actually, two guests. One is silent.
A silent partner. Silent guest.
The other is everyone's favorite Snopolopagus.
What?
T2.
Where did that come from?
Trying out something new. I don't think it worked.
I don't think it works. I don't think that works at all.
No.
Snopling? How do you identify yourself within the community
I was
of
very partial to
SNOPtarts?
SNOPtart. when
Great.
that was
SNOPtart.
about.
All right.
I still need to get a SNOPtart shirt.
Well, they're about to be
Nice.
available once again.
That's fantastic. I was trying to tee that up for you.
Nice.
Thank you. Good job. Like
Very
the
good
softball
job.
game, I just smacked it out of the park.
You're like a pro.
Yeah.
So this is your first retreat.
Yes.
How is it going so far?
It's going great because I am in one of the quieter accommodations.
Great.
So that's good. I'm typically more of the quiet type, so that helps. But no, it's good. It's been very welcoming. I was signed up to go to the retreat in 2020, and it got postponed, obviously. But I got involved in a lot of the different chats and the different meetups that they were having instead of actually coming here, and got to meet people. So I knew people already before I got here, so that was good.
What's been your favorite activity so far?
Well, I'll say hiking. But the easier hike today, I think, was more of a favorite than the one yesterday that was 2 hours and a little bit more grueling. But today was a water hike. We saw a waterfall. It was
Nice.
more flat. Yeah.
That's my kind of hike.
Yeah, and T2, what time do those hikes start?
6:45.
That's
God.
insane.
And
Why
I'm
would you do that?
because I'm still on East Coast time, thank goodness.
fair
And-
enough.
Oh,
Fair,
yeah,
fair,
that
fair.
helps.
Yeah,
All right.
but I could have stayed up later at night. Actually, no, I could not. I was so tired.
Yeah, we know because Martina and T2 were sitting behind us at the Xena musical.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, hey, guys. And then all of a sudden I look back and you're gone.
Yeah,
Disappeared.
Disappeared into
we
the
tried.
night.
Yeah.
We tried. But I think both of us were cold and tired, and
It was a full day.
yeah, it was a very full day, and hated to duck out and miss you guys, but
Yeah.
It's all right. You can make it up to us.
oh, we can make it up to you. Okay, all right, that works.
So what are you planning on doing for the rest of the day?
I'm trying to remember what's going on today, but there's like the ropes course thing that I might
cool.
try
Oh.
to
Nice.
give it a try.
Okay.
Martina was very impressive with the leap of faith.
We saw the video.
I don't know
It
if I
looked
could get to
scary.
the
I
top of
haven't
that,
seen the
but
video.
Wow. Was there other days with ropes courses going on, or
yeah,
was it just
it's
its own
kind
thing?
of one of those open activities, I think.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Yeah, I was napping, I think, when Martina was doing that after that 2-hour hike.
Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah, I needed that.
Support napping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another favorite activity is,
It's great to do here. It's so peaceful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got a couple kids and, a dog to take care of and everything else. So getting away
Yeah.
and just being among Xenites is relaxing, and it's nice to
relaxing.
just kind of hang.
Have you attempted to contact your children while you've been here?
Absolutely not.
Okay, good, good. Well, there's barely any service.
No,
You have a great
This
excuse.
is true. And,
Like, look.
there's an emergency number if I'm needed. And, I'll be accessible. But they can go and do their thing. While I
Yeah.
go do my thing.
You need
And,
your time.
one of these days, maybe they'll appreciate Xena, but I've tried, and that hasn't stuck yet.
Yeah.
So,
You just got to keep trying.
yeah.
That's
But they're getting into other things. So, like we're a multi-fandom household, so,
What other fandoms?
well, so for me personally, it's just about all of them that you guys talk about.
Oh,
But
nice.
This is why I love the podcast so much. But my kids, my son is getting a little bit more into some of the Star Wars on Disney Plus, and that's good. And
Love that.
my daughter, actually, I was watching Picard. I was watching the new season of Picard, and I was like, oh, it's okay. I'll switch it to something else because she had come in the room. She's like, no, I kind of like it, and I'm like,
Nice.
yes, good.
My plan is working.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and they'll watch the Marvel movies with me and stuff. So
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you think you'll come back for another retreat?
yeah, I think I will. I finances are one thing, right?
Sure.
And managing, to get the childcare lined up. But yeah,
a lot.
it's a good trip. It's nice. I had fun in Burbank for a couple days, and
Beautiful Burbank, California.
yeah, it was lovely.
And you took the shuttle out here, right?
No, actually, I drove.
Did you rent a car?
I did rent a car.
Okay.
I like to have that flexibility.
Yeah, right.
I
right.
love Xenites, but some of the group activities are a little bit less my thing. So I
Right.
I have a
an
car.
escape
I mean,
route.
it's great that it's remote, but we don't want it to be that remote.
Sure.
Where it's like there's no escape.
Yeah, it's true. And and I have an early flight on Monday, so
The Ubers don't come up here, I don't think. To
Nope.
get you if you need to go.
They do. It would be very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's worked out well because they've needed extra cars to take people to the trailheads and stuff. So,
nice.
So I've been able to. I like being useful. So I got to.
Yeah.
I like to carry things and transport people. So
Right on.
yeah, great. I'm excited that you guys came out here. So and you got to stay.
We are too.
We're very excited to be here.
Yeah. Got the full experience this time.
Yeah.
very nice.
And it really does, to be able to stay and just kind of relax and kind of become part of the crowd. It has, the feeling is so much better.
Sure.
You know, it's
Yeah.
so much better to be immersed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I understand the appeal. I can see why people have come every year.
Yeah. And I've run into some folks that listen to the Snop.
Really?
And I've been like, you got to come over and say hello.
That's right.
Please.
You were even sporting the Snop shirt
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yes.
Doing some advertising on behalf
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Thank you.
Put a Snop sticker on my water bottle, and you know,
Yeah,
was
man.
sitting at lunch, and somebody was talking about a show. I was like, "Do you listen to the Snop?"
Wow.
Because they talk about it on
You
the show
should.
here. So
We
I have fun
appreciate
promoting.
that. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We have had a
do.
nice number of people come up to us and say they
Yes.
listen. You know, even if not all the time, like, oh yeah, I listen. You know, here and there, or someone listen all the time. You know, thank you for entertaining me while I do such and such. And
Yeah,
I'm showering.
chores
Me and my
and stuff.
girlfriend are showering together, and
Yeah, there's that.
You're there. So I mean, how cool is
like you're in the
that?
shower with us.
Happy to be there.
Right.
Or have you in their pants? I think I've heard that one before.
Right.
Carry
Yes,
you
it's in my pants. Yeah. In
Good
my
hit, good
trousers.
hit.
Oh, that was a good hit.
My
Nice
trousers.
hit.
That's right.
Nice hit.
Oh, go for it.
Line drive.
We're running it in.
Oh, looks like they're
Oh,
someone's
going
gonna
home,
score.
going
Someone's
home.
gonna score.
Oh.
Safe.
Safe at home.
This might be the championship game we're watching.
I think
This
it
is
is.
a championship
Yeah,
game.
okay.
For the whole
That's why the cheering's
enchilada.
louder.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Nicely played.
Very good.
So are y'all gonna do any of the activities before you pack up and go?
No.
You know,
This is our
ropes
activity.
course,
I'm just not.
Oh, I'm not doing a ropes course.
archery.
We're
Ooh,
gonna
archery.
be talking with folks. That's our activity.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just hanging out.
I'm
I just
not
wanna
against
hang out.
activities,
fun.
Yeah.
but we have a job to do.
Yeah.
And if we can work in some activities,
Job,
That'd be
in
cool.
quotes, in air quotes, job.
And it's
Yeah.
noon somewhere. Somebody needs to bring you a beverage.
That's
Oh,
so
no.
true.
Well,
I
we
think
did enough
I
of that
need
yesterday.
that
Did a lot of that
just to really, you know, my body is like, where'd all that alcohol go from yesterday?
you need to replenish.
Fill the
Yeah.
tanks.
Well, I'm sure we can arrange something for you guys. if you need it.
Yeah, there's just alcohol
that.
everywhere. There's
just-
21 and up camp.
It's just flowing,
So,
flowing like water.
Yeah, there's just people walking around.
Not,
They're like,
I don't want to give the impression this is like some
Okay,
drunken,
okay.
hedonistic
That's true.
I'm just saying,
camp
yes.
of debauchery.
It's
I mean, it
very
can be if that's what you're looking
classy,
for.
but
Or you could go to bed early and get up and go for a hike.
yes,
It's
you don't
very-
have to
it's
drink
for everyone.
at all. There's
No.
so many things to do.
Oh, nice.
But I'm just saying,
Oh,
if you wanted to,
Look at that
it's
play.
there.
It's true.
That was nice. Grabbed,
true.
snatched right out of the air.
Good
Good
grab.
grab, good grab.
Nice.
I like podcasting with something entertaining to watch in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
I wish we had a lineup and we could be like, hey, and up next.
No,
is-
you need some PA speakers.
Yeah.
Well, some folks were asking if you guys were like live broadcasting and commentating on the.
We are a little
on the
bit.
games.
We are a
Yeah,
little
a
bit.
little here and there. We'll dabble in a little bit of
I think
live
our
action.
biggest commentary was when someone felt twice,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
we commented on that. But
Oh,
not a lot
that's
of game playing action.
Right.
Sure.
But yeah, this is it seems like a good game going on. Different rules, so it's not like a 9 innings. They're not here all
Right.
day.
Right.
It's like everybody gets to bat once, and
Yeah.
you get a
Yeah,
certain
that's
number of
smart.
outs. and-
That's
It's
nice.
very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good way to do it.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour tournament. You can't just play
Right.
all day.
Right.
It's
Looks
very
fun, though.
inclusive. It's very, very much.
Yeah, they want everybody to play.
Mm-hmm.
Just have fun. Like my mom, when I was playing softball in high school, she just wanted everyone to play and have fun.
Aw.
Penny was telling us
Mama.
earlier that when they first made these teams, they weren't asking people to disclose their experience playing softball.
Really?
So they were assigning people on the teams with no concept. And one team one year, I guess,
Like
there was
stacked.
like professional
no.
women. It was like the national women's baseball team, softball team out there. So one team just was like slaughtering the other team. So
Oh my gosh, there are some
Yeah.
very athletic attendees here.
Yeah.
There was the hike yesterday. The guide for the hike, of course. I mean, she must do it every day, and she was.
Wow.
I won't say gone because she's obviously the leader for the hike, but there was another person right behind her, and I was like, I can't even get up there.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Wow.
They have fun.
So there's like a person that knows knows the hike. Just
Oh,
going.
yeah.
It's not. Of course, it's totally organized. I don't know what I thought. What else I thought?
Wandering around the mountains.
Go to this marker
Have
in
we
the
seen
dirt.
Tara in a while?
you know.
Fine.
No, they're very safety oriented. They took names before you leave, and they make sure you come back.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
So if
very
you're missing
smart.
somebody, you don't want to leave them
Yeah.
in the desert.
No Xenites left behind.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it.
But yeah, Jill is I guess they call her Mama Jill, and she is very much the hike guide
Nice.
and camp mom. I think they call her that
She
too.
has the dog, right?
Yes, she has
we met her.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Mama Jill. You
Very
met her.
sweet.
So
and-
does she?
yeah.
Does she work? I've seen her here. Like,
Yeah, I think
I
yeah.
think she lives here, right?
I think so. Yeah, so there's some
Wow, how
staff that
cool.
live here. Yeah,
Not a bad place.
No,
Yeah,
are you
that is
kidding?
awesome.
Good gig if
Yeah.
you can get it.
but she's always making sure everybody has what they need, and
She's super friendly, always smiling. I've
Yeah.
never seen her
And
not
her
smile.
dog is so cute.
Yeah, Yodi
He's
is
getting
he's a
older.
sweet old dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like a bear.
She was telling some
Kinda
stories about him
lumbers
with some
around.
bears when he was younger. It
Oh,
was,
no.
Out here?
Yeah, I mean, well, the bears aren't here now. She was telling about how the fires and stuff, kind of took out the food source, and so the bears aren't really around right now. But
probably
when he
good.
was younger, when Yodi was younger, apparently there was a bear chase. And,
Oh,
but I mean, everybody was fine. But it sounded like he was proud of himself,
Oh,
and
boy.
you can imagine,
Yeah, he was doing a protect of
Yes,
his,
of course.
of his family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wow. It's not a fight you want to get into,
No.
Yodi.
So maybe more.
No, Martina. Okay, Martina.
Okay,
shaking
I was just
her head no.
just trying to quietly.
No pressure.
For
No
For
No
those
pressure.
of you
pressure,
that
no
don't
pressure.
know, Martina is the one that has done some fabulous art, snop art.
Yes. We're big fans,
including
Martina.
one of our favorites, the drawings of all of the us being the snoplings,
Yeah.
and just some really great quotes along with it that really capture the essence of this podcast.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun. I think we
still need to post the last one
yeah.
she sent,
The
because I don't think
second
we
one.
ever put that on the Twitter. But
Yeah,
it
we
is
posted the first one.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in person, thank you, Martina.
Yes.
We love our fan art so much.
Yep, it's going up in the pod pub.
It is.
Next to the Xena sword that I
Oh,
bid on.
that's
awesome.
So
Yeah.
that'll be perfect. It'll be right there next to
You know,
it.
we talked to Penny about the serious bidding for the banners.
We-
Tara got into a little bidding war herself.
It was
got a
some
very
tense-
cool
some tense
Xena
moments.
sword.
Was
I walked away because it made me anxious.
I
yeah,
was
it
there.
made me anxious.
So there was a silent auction, and one of the items was this really cool Xena prop sword, and it said like Xenite Retreat 2022
It had rainbow on it.
and rainbow, and it caught your eye, Tara, right?
And you were victorious.
I said, I'm in this.
I just knew you won when I saw you standing at the pay table. I'm like, oh, I guess she got it. Or I think Kat
Yeah.
walked over. I'm like, did she win it? Yes.
She did.
Then it was fun to walk around and put the sword on people's shoulders.
You were doing that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You were like knighting
I was
us.
a little startled.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So yes, then there was the live portion, but yes, I did.
And you came away with that sword. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's
Going
going to
up.
be featured. So, Martina, we're going to have a whole Xena section now that your art will be
Yay.
featured in.
That's awesome.
Maybe.
Oh, look at her. She's got a, Oh, no, that's Penny. Is that
It is
Penny?
Penny. It is Penny.
She has a Gabrielle Sports bra.
That was part of
my
the.
God.
I think that was part of the Indiegogo campaign. You could.
Oh,
It's really
buy
cute.
that.
that
So cute.
is so cool.
Do the shorts look like the Gab shorts, or they're just shorts?
I think those are just shorts.
Yeah, those are just her
With the
shorts.
oh,
It
that's
is so
fantastic. By the way, my favorite outfit out there, someone's got their T-shirt. I assume they're on the Amphipolis team, maybe? And they're wearing the Xena skirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's got like the Xena little leather strap
I think
things.
it's.
And
I think it's
It's Tammy.
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 Tammy,
And
right?
she's got the
Was-
high socks. It's very League of Their Own.
yes. As a cat
But
said,
with
during
a
the skirt, but it's a
legit
Xena skirt.
During the leather
Xena
skirt.
leather skirt.
Yeah,
and
that is a
then
great outfit.
The T-shirt. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
Out, near
I
second base.
think-
From what I understand,
Short stuff.
Tammy was a softball player.
Well,
so she.
it looks it. It
Yeah.
looks the part.
Yeah.
Now
she kind of looks like Kit a little bit
a little bit.
from League of.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
A little bit.
I like the high ones.
Yeah.
Now was Tammy also? She was in the cosplay.
Oh, yeah,
competition.
Oh, yeah, she was.
had the whipped cream bikini.
Yeah.
I think she got third place. I think.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
That was an impressive.
That was a very.
I
Theme
was
outfit.
impressed with how it was staying on.
How was it staying?
It
up?
was a very thin,
Yeah.
very thin. I don't know, like a plastic. You know, what are those things? It's like a clear, like rubbery kind of thing.
Okay.
It was like a one tiny piece
amazing.
holding the whole thing together.
Wow.
There was some
for the top and the bottom.
There was some flashing
There was some flashing.
yesterday in
There
the
was
white
French
Gabrielle
bikini.
bikini, the little the ones we have.
Yeah.
From the one where she's like the rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like what's his
Go-go.
name playing the
Right,
band?
the
like a
go-go dancer.
Go-go dancer.
Go-go.
And the whole
Go-go.
top came off.
Yes, and
Gabrielle.
there were pasties. Appropriately
Rainbow pasties
placed.
that said "gay AF" on them.
You know what we should have done? If we known that was going to happen, we could said put these snop stickers.
Yes, I'm sure.
Or maybe we could
that's
just wear that to a con
just
ourselves one day.
What they were
Snop
going
stickers.
for.
Next year, you
Yeah,
guys
I
can
As
do
think-
that.
pasties.
I think.
Oh
we're gonna
yeah,
have
look
to
at
do
that!
ourselves.
Whoa! Okay, Tammy can play.
Oh.
She picked it up. I think
And
she
that
barehanded
was-
it.
That was Team Awesome's Amanda doing a real sprint down the
That's,
first baseline.
yeah.
But
Was that
Tammy
Amanda's
got her.
friend?
Tammy
It
got her
was,
out.
yeah.
Wow, nicely run,
Nice
Amanda.
job, Tammy.
Yeah, to getting exciting. Yeah, at this point, are they doing innings?
Oh, here's Adrian and her pupper.
Oh, baby pup. Oh, he's so
It's like
tiny.
it's exciting, but also the fact she's got her pupper with her. It's just a very tiny little, like fuzzy Chihuahua-looking dog.
Yeah.
Aw.
She's holding it like a baby.
It is a baby.
Oh,
He is 16 years old.
oh my
16.
god.
His name is Tazo.
And
Tazo.
she did announce earlier
So
that
cute.
at the pajama party, she was saying, "You guys better bring your A game because there's going to be like a contest at the pajama party."
Right.
And she said that her dog was going to also be wearing a onesie and also competing. So
Tough.
it's going to be tough to beat.
Tough
So
competition.
bring it.
I brought my PJs for that, but I didn't realize it's actually during the day today when I will be gone.
Yeah, it's later today.
I was thinking it was last night, so I didn't get
Yeah.
the chance to wear them to a party.
You could have worn them like today.
I could have.
I saw some people in onesies walking
He's
around.
already
Are you
wearing
guys
the onesie.
going? You're not doing the pajama party?
No, didn't sign up for the pajama party.
Oh, okay, you had to sign up in advance.
But it was like a
think
paid
it's a
thing.
ticket.
It was like
Oh,
a, it was
charity.
a,
Gotcha.
Charity thing.
Okay.
it was like a
That's right,
fundraiser
that's
kind
right,
of thing.
'cause-
Yeah.
And I think she had said that they had already raised something like $20,000 plus
Amazing.
for
cash.
charity.
Unbelievable.
Charity for Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian
Yeah.
stuff.
Tazo's getting some love over there. Getting the booty scratch.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's hard to
couple
stand.
of dogs here. There's
Yeah.
several dogs.
There's
that we've
another
seen.
poodle, like a smaller poodly dog.
Yeah,
that
like a
every time I see,
Labradoodle or something.
yeah, every time I see him, he's being held up by his mom, and he's like, "Ugh."
Yeah,
he
he's
just
like
looks like a baby in like
carried
one of those
around.
front carriers that just
Yeah.
kind of hangs there. He's like, "Where are we going?"
Where are we going now?
Need more dogs. A lot of ducks.
A lot of
Wendy
ducks.
takes pictures of the ducks whenever she's
Wendy loves the
They're cute.
ducks.
They're cute. They got ponds. It's very relaxing. Turtles.
See, when you say that, when you say it in the third person, like Wendy takes, it makes it seem like that's me saying it.
Sorry.
I could see how that would
Speaking
be
in the third
even more
person,
confusing
first
for
person,
people.
whatever.
Wait, who's talking now?
Okay.
Yeah, oh, T2, you're not
Wendy.
helping.
Wendy. I am Wendy, and Wendy likes the ducks.
Doesn't help that Wendy refers to herself.
I don't
third
normally do
person.
that. I
You
did
don't.
it then, but I
No,
don't
you don't.
normally do that.
T2, can you tell us apart? Even though you had
Absolutely,
met us in
yes.
person
I can
before.
tell you apart.
Okay.
Yes.
Martina, can you tell us apart? What's
Can?
that? I can. You can. You could before this, right? Yeah. Okay,
Ah,
yes.
Very good.
2 for 2.
Okay.
On the table, yeah. All right. See?
See? Penny's taking the field.
Taking her field, not sports bra. It's holding everything in. It's a good quality product.
It is.
Looks great. I'm so jealous. I want one.
It's very cute.
That is nice. I don't know where you.
Man, they had so much good merch. I mean, we didn't get it because it was a pre-order.
I know.
And then went on fire.
And
then it was on
Martina's
fire.
wearing it right now. This great
Very cute
sweatshirt for the
shirt.
Xenite Retreat.
It is a
The
beautiful
yeah, it's
sweatshirt.
beautiful. Love the art.
It's
It
so
is
good.
gorgeous.
It's really
Is that
cool.
Xena and Gab in the canoe or generic people? I mean, I guess it can be Xena
Let's
and Gab.
just
Well,
say
it
it's
is Xena
Xena
and Gab.
Gabrielle.
Oh,
Right before the
that's
horde.
cool.
Right before the horde pops up. That'd be that episode. So it's like adventure waits. Yeah, because the horde's coming up. They're gonna have to run for their lives. Just looks calm. It's really not. That'd be fun. So, they had like at night when you're walking around. Had people dressed as like the horde that would just randomly run out and chase you.
Oh,
my
God.
like Halloween Horde nights.
Yes, but it could be the horde or Hawkeye or something.
Yeah.
Just
No.
randomly, you're just minding your own business, and all of a sudden, I think I'm gonna bring
I
that
don't
up
think
to Penny.
so, no.
Would that destroy the calm community?
Like if
camp?
it's just on the waiver you signed, but no one really reads those, so it's just like
Yeah.
a one-liner.
By the
like
way, someone
also
might run at you with like a hatchet.
in the middle of the night, Just for funsies, someone that could happen.
I
Well,
think
might
that'd
told
be
to do that just for
great.
fun.
I vote
Yeah.
no. I vote no.
I don't like. That's exactly why I don't go to Halloween Horror Nights, because I don't like when the people jump out at you. No,
Fine.
thank you. I just say like my reaction would just be to punch them in the face.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I think mine would
Right
be
in the
too.
face.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of nowhere like
Right.
this. I
In
would
the
be a little
middle of the
nervous.
night.
It's
If
a
they're
really
dressed as a
serial
Bacchae?
killer. I don't know.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Some
Or a
scary
horde
creature.
member.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, there's people coming from the
mountains.
The mountains. The mountain people are here to get us.
Then I'm going to walk with you so that you can punch them in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there might be too
The
many people
hills
walking
have
around
eyes.
with swords.
Jesus
Like one of the
Christmas.
horde
This
actors
is
might get
turning-
gored by a sword. in
Yeah,
this game.
exactly.
Oh.
Sword gourd.
Or a smack by a staff.
Right.
Or a size or a chobo.
There's
We've
too
seen
many
chobos
prop
around.
weapons here.
There are some chobos floating around.
There are. The chobos are referenced in the musical last night.
Chobos.
Yeah, it was very funny. A lot of very fun references in the musical, and you could tell the people who were singing were like didn't know that they were dropping all these like inside jokes and
Right.
stuff. I think
Right.
they were very surprised how enthusiastic
All right,
we
Tammy.
were,
Right.
I think I'm picking Tammy MVP.
and it was yeah. Honestly, she's killing it out there.
And just for the wardrobe.
Right. And she's doing it in a leather.
Tammy can go home and
skirtlet.
said, I got a hit off La Mans.
That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hello.
Living the dream.
Hi.
So this is Shira. She wanted to say hi earlier. and
Well,
so-
come on
Hi,
out.
Shira.
Also a
Hi,
listener.
Shira.
Oh, all
Ah.
right.
Do you
Oh.
want to sit down for a second? T2, can we kick you out?
You want to sit down? Yeah.
Get up,
Say
T2.
hi. Yeah.
Put on in the chair, T2.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
How's your retreat going?
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
And sorry, where did you come in from?
Israel.
Oh,
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, happy Passover. It's a little late,
Thank
but
you.
happy Passover. Well, is this your first time in California?
First time,
Whoa.
first time in the US. First time retreat. First time a lot of things.
Oh,
Incredible.
wow. That
Well,
is awesome.
welcome.
Thank you.
How are you? Are you having a good time?
I'm having a good time. Yeah.
What's been your favorite thing so far?
Don't know. Just meeting all the people, all the fans. It's like feeling being home.
Yeah. Did you know anyone before? Did you come with someone, or did you know anyone
I
before you got
didn't
here?
know anyone.
Yeah,
Wow.
you showed up. Yes, that's
Good for
awesome.
You. Good for you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
When did you first get into Xena? When did you start watching Xena?
Like, okay. I watched like 2005 or
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. You've watched it for a
old
little while.
school, yeah.
yeah.
Did you ever come to the convention, like the other conventions that used to happen?
I didn't. I got a ticket for the convention in 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Are you
Yes.
coming back for 2022?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Hey!
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
We'll be there too.
Nice. Amazing.
Yeah, conventions. Those conventions. I mean, it's a whole different vibe. I mean, it's cool because everybody's there, and Lucy and Renee, and tons of stuff going on. They're both great. They're just different. This is, and even there, it's a lot about just the community of people that are all just enjoying being around each other as much as the actors and stuff.
Yeah.
So you just don't play softball during it.
Yeah. Are you
They
going?
told me they did.
Oh, they have
That's
before. Maybe
true.
they are
That's
going to play
true.
softball. Again.
That's where I think the softball
That's right.
That was
tradition-
Penny
Yes.
organized softball in
That's
the
Yeah.
right. I forgot.
And it was Penny that organized that.
Are you going to
softball
play
game.
again? I see you're on the boards.
Oh.
Do you play today?
Pop up.
I
Pop
did
up.
play.
Okay.
Missed it.
It was first time softball
Okay.
Oh, really?
Ever, any kind, like ever?
ever.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to softball.
Nice.
Good for you. That's so great. I love that you're doing all this new stuff and being here for the first time. It's incredible.
So that's so great. I mean, I just love that people are coming from, as far as you can imagine, like all over the world for the Xenite Retreat. That's why this thing has to keep going because it brings in new people.
It's awesome.
And it lets you meet everyone else that's old
Yeah.
Xena fans, new Xena fans.
Yeah.
People have watched it for a while but just never got to a convention before.
Yep.
It's wonderful.
Shira, who's your favorite character on Xena?
I think Gabrielle.
Yeah.
I think.
Can't
Yeah.
beat Gabrielle.
I like the way you say Gabrielle.
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
Your
I like
accent is
it.
very
It's
lovely.
No,
It
it's
sounds
beautiful.
beautiful.
I said the Israeli way, probably.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I like the way it sounds. It was cool.
Nah.
I would try to do it myself, but that would not go
Yeah.
well. So I'm just not.
Yeah. Hey,
I
we've
can
got.
try to say it again in Israeli way.
Yeah, do it again.
Gabrielle.
Oh, yeah, that's the way to say it.
So
That's nice.
beautiful.
That sounds nice.
I love that. Very beautiful. Oh, I think we have a trophy. Trophy's going to
trophy presentation
It's happening.
to the Cutthroats.
Cutthroats.
Oh.
Cutthroats took the championship.
Nice.
Interesting.
Nice trophy.
Oh, that is nice.
There's Tammy.
Tammy's on the winning team. No
Of
shot
course.
there.
Can I just say, I listened for you for a while.
Oh,
Every
thank
time
you.
you mention the beers, I wanted always to send the Israeli beers,
Oh!
but I don't know how it works with the national, international.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, the beers.
Like real beers, like from Israel.
Oh, yeah. It's such a long way to go. That would be tough.
But if they, if they're not, if they don't have to be refrigerated. Beer doesn't have to be refrigerated.
Right.
I think it'd be fine.
I guess it's legal to ship alcohol
don't know.
internationally. I don't know.
I think it is.
I didn't check it.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for thinking about it.
Yeah,
We
that's
appreciate
awesome.
Thank
that.
you for listening. Have you been listening? Like, how long have you been listening? Where'd you find
I
out?
don't know. I think like a year or so. I'm not
nice.
sure.
Awesome.
All right. Is there anything you'd like us to talk more about?
Yes.
Oh.
What else do you like?
I like that. Good idea. Good question.
Do whatever you like.
Okay.
I'm just
All right.
here listening on my public transportation.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we like to ask people what they're doing when they listen. We get all sorts of answers. So,
Well, if you're not too busy while you're in America, listen this week because you'll hear
Yeah, I
yourself.
missed the last week, so
Yeah.
Ah.
I need to catch up.
Okay.
Should I go?
Oh, sure.
I think if you want.
They're called.
Oh,
Penny's
is it
calling
your
you.
team? Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Go
Thank
your
you,
team.
Shira.
All right.
Bye, Shira. Toda.
Bye, Shira. Nice to meet you.
Toda. Toda. We are here with Katherine Fugate. Welcome to She Nerds Up podcast.
Thank you.
And so we're at the retreat. This is your first year. Tell us so far what has your experience been?
Well, I think, I've been to conventions in big halls, and that's so, I don't want to say micromanaged, but it's very specific where I have to go, what I have to do. And I find that it's so relaxed, and you can feel the community more. One thing I said to someone is there's so much joy in that after like 4 or 6 years, depending on, your political preferences, there's been a lot of sadness we've all experienced and a lot of isolation, and we sort of dissociated from our heart and from each other. And I said I felt like almost lifted up here. So even though I know it's my first time at this retreat, I felt the community was so much more needed, and everyone, there was just so much joy here that it really lifted me up just being here. Just, outside of even Xena, just in general, seeing smiles and people happy and people laughing and costumes. I love, I'm a theater major, so anybody in a costume, I'm a big fan. And so just that, like seeing life again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that here. A lot of life here. Did you stayed the night last night? We were walking around last night. There's some partying going on.
Some partying.
Did you get invited to any of the parties?
I did not. And that's very confusing because I went to the musical, again, theater major, and I play the drums, so I always like to watch the drummers and some good beats there. We were, and I was, I just came back with the crowd, and not one person mentioned you might want to pop over there. There's a rave or a party.
Right.
And that's what I heard happen. Someone else this morning at breakfast said I got dragged into a party in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Club
And
Banyo. That's what they call it.
Yeah, I said, that's very high school where you get dragged into the bathroom, dragged into the bathroom. And I said, not one person dragged me anywhere. I just went home. So I did.
We only happened to be outside of that particular bathroom when they were starting to put streamers up. I don't remember. It was after the musical. It was like it was like close to midnight. Right. And people were just kind of like hanging out outside of it. And someone came up to us and they go, "Have you heard of Club Banyo?" We're like, "No," because we were doing the same thing. We're just kind of hanging out. We're like, "Well, what do we do now?" Like,
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, we put streamers in there, and it's like a legit club." And I guess it started. It's a tradition now. But yeah, we hadn't heard of it, and it's unfortunately the closest bathroom to where we were staying. So they were going hard all night.
Oh yeah.
And if you wanted to use the bathroom, you couldn't.
Pretty much.
It was just packed.
Yes. Well, now I know I'm going to carry streamers everywhere I go because that's all I need to start a party is a streamer.
And now it's in that bathroom down by the amphitheater. But it's later. It was like, it was kind of covert.
It's a little, I wrote an episode. I thought they liked it, but look what happened. I didn't get invited.
Somebody better invite Katherine to
didn't
Club
get
Banyo
invited.
next time.
We didn't get invited either, so
No,
don't feel
no.
bad.
Well,
We just wanted to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And,
the only reason I knew is the breakfast crowd this morning was dragging. It was a
I'm
clear,
you can tell who was there.
You can tell it went to party, that party.
So speaking of the musical, what did you think?
I really loved it. Now, I have to say, I was really hoping the two would get together. I thought there were two that liked each other. It seemed, maybe it was just me and I was reading into things. I happen to read into things a lot, apparently. And I was really hoping for those two to get together and that they did. It was really... Did you see that coming?
I did not really, but
No?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a different twist. But
Did you see it coming?
yeah, I didn't. Those crazy kids. They just finally.
It blindsided me.
Blindsided you too.
It was like,
did.
oh, interesting. Didn't see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I could see it now.
It's one way to do it.
Right.
Yeah, it's one way to. You're right. That's a take. We all get a take, and that was one of them. What about you? Did you see it coming?
I had a suspicion.
You had a suspicion. Sharp.
Wendy's very smart.
Sharp.
She's the smart one.
She's the one that doesn't go to the parties. So she's
She's
on it and awake and alert, and she catches all the things.
Well, I'd had the least alcohol of the three of us last
That's
night.
right.
So
That
maybe
is
that was part of
true.
it.
No, I didn't get offered alcohol either. So clearly I'm in the wrong part of camp. I'm not
No,
camping in the right building.
I think people are
I'm
just
in the wrong
intimidated.
nation. And
Yeah.
I think that's it.
They're
I
just
think that's it.
intimidated by you. You're too cool for school.
I guess so.
Next time, you just need a shirt that says "Where's the party?" and give me
Yeah.
the alcohol.
Ask me to a party.
Yeah, that's true. Ask me to a party.
So you wrote When Fates Collide, which is a lot of fan favorites episode. Are you surprised that after all these years that people are still touched by that episode?
It's so hard to answer that question is articulately as I'd like, because what happened to even get that job is it was the last sixth season of the show, and I had to kind of really fight to get in that room because I didn't have hour-long drama credits for TV. I was a feature writer, so all my samples and my work was features, and usually they don't cross that easily. TV writers are hired because they know the constraints of that. And I really fought to get it because I had such a love of the show already. So I wasn't someone that they just hired off the street to fill in episodes, which sometimes they do.
Right.
I really, really wanted to write it. And so I was lucky that they heard me. Patrick Moran at the time was the executive who hired me, and he said I came in and jumped on the couch, and I believe him. Now, I must have done that, but that's the story he tells. She came in and jumped. I want to write this episode. Please let me write for the show. And I said, okay, because it was an out-of-body experience. I'd even got that far. And I think, so for me, I was really driven to do it right and to do it well. And, I wanted to represent the beauty of two women in love. I wasn't going to shy away from that. And I actually said that I don't want that. This is how I see it. And how do you see your show? Because I was a viewer.
Right.
And they're in the rooms. And are they even seeing the same show I'm seeing? Was a question I had.
And what did
and
they
they
say?
said, we do. This is what we think.
Awesome.
But we can't. We always have to, we have a line we can't cross because of censors and people who buy the show. And, they're beholden to other people. And so we have to make sure we can go as far as we can. Now, of course, a lot of those that censorship and a lot of that fear has been lifted in time. That's why I think this show is so groundbreaking, and people kind of forget that. But but they did. They all felt the same way I did, and that was even then to learn that when you're just a viewer outside to hear, okay, they are seeing what we're seeing, and they are with us.
That's a question I always have for people that are the showrunners and involved in basically creating the characters and the story and the whole bit. How hard is it for them to have the same view of the characters that just a viewer who doesn't see all the behind the scenes and is not involved in what should this character say? What should this? I mean, is there any way they can ever really get the same viewpoint of how they see the characters compared to people that are just watching from the outside? Is it hard?
I do think it's hard. I went on to create my own show, so I got to understand even more the behind the scenes of something. And there's several shows. There's the show that I sit down at my computer and write.
Right.
And then there's the show that the actors read and they act. And then there's the show that's a pivotal point, as an answer to your question, where the creator or the showrunner is in the editing room, and they're the last one.
That's the final edit.
Yeah,
That's
and
the final
it's
draft.
not the director like feature films are. Where the director's king or queen. But in TV, what I would end up being as the creator of Army Wives is You determine, do I want the close-up? Is this the music that gives you the, is this the swelling romantic music I want on top of this? Right. And do I want these looks or not these looks? Because I have other takes that don't have them, So I'm able to, lead you where I want you to go, with my choices. But then I still put it out there, and I'm always surprised somebody else is still seeing something else. Right. Someone will come up to me about my episode that I wrote. And I'll say, well, yes, I see Xena and Gabrielle as lovers. I see them as soulmates. I see my episode showing you that, showing they will find each other in any timeline, even though other things have changed. They're at some point going to interact and recognize each other. That was, thematically what I believed. And I will have people walk up to me and go, they're just friends.
Oh, wow.
And your episode, that doesn't mean anything, doesn't show anything. They're just friends. And I said, well, I just want to say I love my friends very much. None of them have ever spoken to me that way or looked at me that way or invited me to parties at 2:30 in the morning. No. None of them have taken baths with me like that or died for me on the cross. There's a lot, these friends. I have bad friends. Right. But I'll say they're just as certain that that's what they see. And you realize that's the other show. It's the interpretation of any of us who bring our filter. I'm a gay woman and I have a partner I'm in love with, and we see the world a certain way because we experience that love and we've crossed that line. And for some people who perhaps don't cross that line or can't see themselves ever crossing that line, then they can put that line on other people. Well, of course, Xena and Gabrielle haven't crossed that line because I wouldn't cross that line. And I'm going, oh, yeah, they've crossed that line many times.
In many different ways.
And I've seen it, and so then you realize there's another version that the viewer with their own life experience and their own needs sometimes, what they need to see, will see something else. And that's the mercurial aspect of any kind of art is the subjectivity, I think. And that's where it gets confusing. But what I tried, the conversation I was having earlier today is I talked yesterday about Killing Eve and how, that show opened just started that way. I don't think it was subtle at all. Not at all. Everybody, and it was based on a book in which the ending was a certain ending, and they chose to change everything. And I think that's why people were so upset. This is 20 years later. You don't need to. You're a groundbreaking show already by how you've treated your characters and the agency you've given them. So why would you go back to something?
You don't need
from
to
Lillian
change the source
Hellman in
material.
the Children's Hour. Let's go back to. Why would you go do such a basic ending when you didn't need to, and you could have went out. Really strong. And it's stunning to me that they made that decision. But they made that decision, which is what, you're kind of asking is there's 7 or 10 people that are making a decision on how they're going to end something. And then there's the whole viewership that's like, why?
And I feel like that was a show in particular that didn't have a different showrunner every season. Or I know the last season. So you don't have that person who had the vision from the beginning of where they want to go. It's almost like, how can we give them this big bang ending? And I know they said something. They didn't want the stakes. They wanted the stakes to be higher than just, they both lived and it was all fun. You can have high stakes with them both living too.
But that's the stake. That right there would have been the twist. That's not the ending any show has ever had. You chose the ending that they all have.
Exactly.
We kissed each other. I'm afraid one of us is dying. Not both of us, but it's over. It's done.
In the last 2 minutes of the show.
And it goes to such a stereotype. If you're gay and you experience sinful love, then you have to die. You're going down.
And
you're
happiness
punished for it. And that is not new or fresh, even if we have a new computer-generated blood heart wing or something. Wings. Look, we use computers. We use special effects. Did you like the song we used? We're fresh and clever. And you're not. That's the hard part. But.
So as a showrunner, how do you decide? Obviously, you have a vision of the story you want to tell, and then you'll start to get feedback from fans. How do you walk that line of giving the fans what they want if it's kind of against what your vision is? When do you decide to kind of toe that line a bit.
That's that is the question, honestly, and that's the question I would put to that crew of Killing Eve or Supergirl or the 100. You might name a ton of shows, but it's like, how do you decide? I think, and this is speaking for me, I don't know any of these people personally, but you have to really check your ego. It's your ego.
Right.
Your ego comes in and says, I want to do something different because that's why I'm a writer.
Right.
That's why I'm an artist, is I have to be different than the people before me. And the struggle or sort of the yearning to be different gets in the way of what's good for the show. Right. And it's one thing I said about Army Wives and other, shows if I've ever been one of the leaders, is I say the show is its own thing. It's the baby. And now this is the baby. And we're all creating the baby together.
Right.
And our job is all to protect the baby. And that takes the individuality out. It's not about you and your ego and what you want. It's about what's best for the baby.
Yeah.
And at some point, the baby tells you, and that can be through the audience's voice. It can be through the history of killing your gays, whatever. You decide, well, that's not good for the baby then if we don't want to be another person who just did the same ending and killed our gays.
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
Right.
We don't want to hurt the baby by, allowing some character to go divert so much from who we thought they were. I see that happen a lot too. You're like, and you feel it as an audience. You'll say, why are they acting that way? That seems so different than they ever acted. Did they forget what they just said last, 3 episodes before? Like what? Wait. And that's usually because we've lost focus on the baby. We started tussling with something we thought we read in a book or saw in a movie and said, I want to do that. Isn't that cool if we rip that off? And it becomes about us and our ego and no longer about the baby.
Even if the baby becomes something maybe we wouldn't be or wants to be, do its own thing, right? And has become something that we didn't see coming. It doesn't mean it's wrong or that we have to hold on so tightly to what it was,
Well, if you have a child like I do, you try to tell that child to be what you want. It does not work.
Right.
Really, you're either going to lead a child down to suicide or some sort of, horrible sadness, or you're going to sit back and let them be who they truly are and blossom and help them be the best they can be. And that's what happens is they forget to see the show as that. And the show is an alchemy of you, the actors, what they bring to it, but also the viewership. The viewership brings something to it. And I always think there's almost a sort of a spiritual contract, I guess. I think of myself, if I'm a muse and something is funneling, I have some sort of spiritual contract to what I'm doing. And I'm asking an audience to join my journey. I'm going to ask you whatever your jobs are and your responsibilities in life, and I'm still going to ask you to give me an hour once a week and devote to me and watch this. But in doing so, I deserve, I'm beholden to you and responsible to you as well, and to give you something that makes sense and is honorable and that is worth your time. And I think some writers forget that aspect, that you're in a relationship with someone else.
That's exactly, giving you so much time and their energy and the fact that they care enough to ask of you these things, or they care enough about your characters, and to not pay attention to that, or to think, I'm going to go totally opposite, just to almost spite that because, like you said, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
I know best.
And really,
it's
just
their
forget
own
it.
ego and boredom. I've sat in the rooms and watched it. Oh, we've done that, and everyone that's what they expect. What else could we do? It's never about the show now, and it's not about the relationship and the honesty you have with somebody else. And you don't have a show on there if you don't have viewers, and you can't forget that. You just can't forget that. And look at the reactions like Game of Thrones got for their ending, or Killing Eve. Killing Eve has been dragged. I mean, it's 99. I have not read one good review, and I've read the social media. I've read the straight reviews, and then the bloggers that are fans writing reviews. And then Vanity Fair. We read all those. It didn't matter which one you went to. Everyone had the same reaction. Like. You told us you were different. You told us you were better, and you were risk takers, and you were someone. If we went with you, you've got our backs, and you didn't. Yeah. At the end, and that emotion and reaction from fans to something that reminds you how much they care and how much they invest, and I think it's like getting married and then cheating on someone in
Yeah.
a weird way. It's like
Yeah.
you let them down. You
Yeah.
didn't live up to the promise that you had.
Why is it so often that these shows miss the landing? It seems like it's so rare that a show there's a finale and people are happy about it and the fans are into it. Like, how do they miss the landing?
Well, I
so many
honestly think
times?
it's the length of the show sometimes. It's like when you sell a show, like season 1, I'll use another example of Lost. You know, the show Lost. When they sold that, they knew the beginning and the end. They already knew the end, which ended up being the end of Lost, but they'd already been written and had been pitched and had been told, and they knew where they were going. So season 1 was so cohesive because it was always going to end that way. You know, so you had this purgatory feeling, and people, wheelchairs could suddenly walk, and people couldn't get pregnant. Were getting pregnant, but it was all going to lead to. It was just, As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner or something. It was just the last few minutes of someone's death. And so they were seeing all this magic and all this. And then when the show was such a hit, now you have to elongate it. You have to stretch it. Now we have this Dharma initiative and this whole government thing and things that were never part of the mystical end of the show.
Right.
So then when you try to stick that ending on, it doesn't really doesn't fit now.
Yeah.
I remember that show in particular felt like they started kind of treading water. And I feel like they were the first show to really say, all right, we're setting our end date. We're going to go for 2 more seasons. So they actually had a plan that they could pace themselves and go where they wanted to go, as opposed to a show that just, well, we're just going to keep giving them stuff as long as it get renewed. And then they go in so many different directions. If they try to stick to what their original plan was, it doesn't fit like they did, like you said, at the beginning. Because it's a hit. So they want more and more and more. And then it ends up being a different thing than it was at the beginning. So.
And the show it's like it wasn't protected. The baby had changed.
Right.
The baby had grown up, and you were still trying to put a onesie on. It's like your show had gone way over here. It was no longer the mystical. Became a government thing, and had all the smoke. We were so fascinating the first season.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it fit the ending.
Right.
And then when it became something else, that ending didn't work anymore. And so I think. Sometimes I see it as boredom, which I think they tried to fix by, having a new showrunner. I think part of that was Phoebe Waller-Bridge only wanted to do one season and wanted to go on, and that show was such a huge hit.
Right.
And Emmy Award winning, all this, it just exploded because it was different.
It blew up.
So then they had Emerald, Fennell, I think it's Fennell, but she ends up, getting an Oscar for Promising Woman and goes on to direct. So so they got caught in that trap of one every year.
Yeah.
And it could have been a show that ended after season 1 or season, even season 3 on the bridge would have been a better ending than
Right.
season 4.
Fantastic ending.
That would have been like, because it was open-ended and it was up to you to interpret what happened next.
Right.
And then you get season 4 where they just act like that never happened. And they never tell you what happened next. It's like that never happened.
That time.
It was set up perfectly for them to
Yeah.
at least have a tentative relationship going forward.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
instead, I felt like season 4 just was like, let's come up with all the ways we can to keep them separate till the end.
Well, they
Very
used, and it was the
convoluted.
same.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you. I'm going to. I can't say
So
what
this
I'm
one's
mad
mad,
at you.
then
It's
this
the
one's
same
mad.
push and pull that we'd
Right.
had for 4 seasons. So
Barely in a room, same time.
Right.
it's like.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think it's longevity. Sometimes it's the cycle of writers. A lot of shows every season have a new staff for
Yeah.
various
Right.
reasons.
Sure.
People want to move on. Someone didn't deliver like they thought they would. Someone has a new show idea of their own and sells it. So you're always having a turnover on staff anyway. But that was, like I
I feel like
said,
it showed with that one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Obviously.
Really obvious.
Let's talk about Xena. So,
we talk about Xena. We're not talking about all these other shows anymore. Let's get back to Xena.
Killing
No,
Eve.
you're right.
but
You're
like,
right.
these
You're absolutely
shows, no, but these shows all exist in sort of the same world, because we talk about Killing Eve, we talk about we talk about queer nerdy things and
On our
sometimes
podcast, so
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
Yeah.
exactly. So this is all in our wheelhouse. But I want to ask you about When Fates Collide. Was that your pitch, or did they have an episode with this sort of story in mind and you came in, or was this that idea was yours?
I think it's a hybrid of a lot of things, because it was a standalone episode in a clip show, theoretically. It was so Rob and RJ were literally off and gone, writing the finale because it was a two-parter. And there was, I think, my episode and then maybe one other clip show and then the finale. Was there one? I think there's one after me, and then I think there's two. Yeah. Then the finale.
Then the finale.
Yeah. So both of those were. We just have to have something to fill that hour, and all our money and focus is rightfully on the big finale. I mean, they were right. You know, it's the right instinct. Is like you don't need to spend too much time now because we're leading up to this very big ending, and that was like making a movie versus an hour episode. So. Because of that, I knew the parameters were kind of there. It had to be a standalone. It couldn't. Okay. Had a lot of clips. Not a lot of room for new sets. Had to use existing things, actors that were available. You know, so you were constrained somewhat. And I think it was a combination of Rob and I just sort of talking. That's my drums. Like he not in person because he was in New Zealand already.
Got it.
But on the phone, and I think his original idea was to use Ted Raimi as sort of a topper. Rob likes to reference, very smart, likes to reference other movies and shows a lot. And I think it was Topper. And he wanted Joxer to add, sort of behave like the Ghost of Christmas Past or Future or something. Something like to come in and create this other thing. And I remember saying no. Like I don't like that.
No, thank you.
And I said I'd rather use Alti because if you have a shaman or a shamaness who can travel to different worlds and see different things, wouldn't that be more interesting? You know, so I think it kind of went that way. And then he said, okay, well, what is it you want to do? And I said, I think, and then I was able to say what was important to me. I said, I think you have to understand the timeline you're in is the original timeline, and to understand everything happened for a reason. You do have to see the alternate timelines, like It's a Wonderful Life or anything else, and you've got to see what happens. And when you have that opportunity, I said I think you have spent almost 6 years or 6 seasons of a show with Xena blaming her dark side and hating that part of her life. But unfortunately, our dark and our light and every step is important to our path. You can't jump over periods and expect to get somewhere else. And I said, I think for her to truly embrace that, she'd have to see, what if I didn't do those things? What would have happened? Right. And what if... I think actually what I said is I think she needs to know that every step she took is what got her to Gabrielle. Had she not gone through every one of those, passages in her life, she wouldn't have recognized Gabrielle, fallen in love with her, or met her soulmate. None of those things would have happened had she not experienced what she did. And it helps all of us sort of forgive our bad choices, if you want to use that word. Our darker moments, our difficult. Or challenges if it's in your childhood, of things you've done, if it's addiction issues, no matter what you did, a lot of people don't realize that as they came out of that, that's what led them to recognize, learn something about themselves, and then ultimately have the love they deserve. Right. Your bad relationship usually gives you the good one. And you look back at the bad one now and go, why did I what was I thinking? And then you go, well, I was thinking that because that's how I got to recognize who you are. And I finally found myself to meet you. I had to find myself first before I could find you. Right.
And I got to make all those mistakes. And that
and that's kind of what happened. And I said, okay, so that's... And then I think... I said, so... And then I think I just said it just like we were talking now, And I said, well, when her big turning point was Caesar, right? Like on that beach. And then that's kind of just sort of... It would start coming, And then I... had to go home and write a beat sheet because they really didn't want to spend a lot of time with me because this was they were really focused. They said, so okay, you go run along and see. And I literally went and watched Ides of March, and I watched a bunch of different shows, and I'd already seen the show anyway. And then I just said, well, what if I flip that? What if we? And then how many characters can I flip and surprise you? And what truths in real history? Like Caesar was always going to be assassinated by someone he trusts. But this time it wasn't Brutus, but it's Alti this time. But that incident was always going to happen for him. Right. And it kind of playing like that.
Having watched the show and calling yourself a fan of the show, to come in and have this fun sandbox to play with. You get to play with Caesar and Alti, some of the most iconic characters of the show. How much fun was that for you? Did you pinch yourself at any point? Like, wow, this is my job.
Well, it was fun because I also got to go to New Zealand and meet them in person. And be a part of the whole beginning and end. And it was only again because they were gone. So there was John Fawcett, the director, and I completely out. He's Canadian. There was a big fight about Canadian and American, which was fun because he said something. I go, "Oh, you're American." He goes, "Oh, I'm Canadian," and I was like, "What? Your accent sounds exactly the same as mine on the set, where everybody else sounds like they're from New Zealand." Right. Yeah. So you sound American. No, I'm not. But it was that was fun. And
Amazing.
then and it was just us because we really were left alone, and that we were running late. I think on one day, and we had to combine something because of sudden rain, and I literally sat there with a napkin from lunch, from tea service, writing the lines and condensing scenes. And then I had Carl and Claire come to me, Alti and Caesar, and I said, "Okay, this is your scene." And John's like, "You're going to sit here, you're going to stay there." And I just held it, and they said it once, said it twice, and we shot it.
Wow.
And that was kind of stunning. That that's when you realize like you're playing with professionals who know their characters
Top
so
of their
well.
game.
You can say it to them, they can say it back, and you can shoot that, and you move on.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
it was something to be a part of that. There was one point in the making, though, I remember John came over to me and said, "I think there's a lot of talking. This has a lot of talking. I think it needs more fight scenes." And that was a joke, but it wasn't when we were doing it. It became the joke. It needs more fight scenes. But at the time, he's like, this is an action show, and there's a lot of talking going on in this, because when it came to the action sections in the script, I would write, action. Somebody kicked someone's ass, and then we're going to talk some more, because that was the weakest element for me, was trying to write action sequences.
Right, like force it.
Action. Okay, talking.
Yeah.
I love you forever. Let's get back to the talking. So... but it all worked out, and it's pretty much shot as written, and there's no scenes that were cut.
No kidding.
Except for the kiss in the jail cell. There was a kiss in the jail cell in the script.
Okay.
And
it wasn't shot.
Well, it was in like the first. You do. I don't know, like 3 or 4 drafts, and you have a production draft, then you have drafts, you have to table read it. It was already in the it was all the way to the table read. It was in the table read. So it went pretty far. And then it was said to me, we had to cut that kiss, and I said, "Oh, why is that? It was
So close.
Fit so perfectly there. Let me explain why that fits there." And they said they wanted to hold the kiss to the finale, and they're not going to just throw the big kiss, iconic kiss, in some clip show by some crazy couch jumping lady. You're not going to give me the big moment, for a show that was not meant to be as good as it became. That was never meant to be what it was really the fan base and which I'm one of, is the people wanting to see proof of this love. And I think that episode shows that in such a definitive way. Yeah. But then the kiss in retrospect would have made sense there. But at the time, why are we giving it to this? Why wouldn't we keep it for our big finale? So, and then it's in the finale, but it's as a water transfer.
Right. It's not real. So
and this
yours
was a
would have been a real.
It was a real kiss in the jail cell as you're being pulled away to your death.
Oh,
See, that would have been great.
It couldn't be more romantic, could it?
No. And it's so funny. It is a clip show, but I don't think of When Fates Collide as a clip show.
No, I don't
I
either.
don't think of it in that terms at all, because it's such an epic episode. And
thank you.
I know in a lot of people's minds, that's how they end season 6 in everyone's minds.
I thank you, because I think it is, I think that's so nice to hear, because it's not a traditional clip show. Like Many Happy Returns kind of is more, right? A clip normally is you're just going to flash back to a whole bunch of stuff. And I think Many Happy, is that the one that's one of them is more present day. That's a clip show.
Soul Possession?
I think Soul Possession.
Yeah.
And
There's one that comes, you can tell when they're the clip shows. And
Yes.
this is
Yeah.
one, but it's really just Alti's flashback.
It's subtle.
Yeah.
There is a lot of real time stuff happening.
Yeah, it works within the plot. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a clip show at all.
Well, that's always a compliment, because you don't want, I
Right.
disguised it well.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us, and we'd love to have you back sometime.
So this is amazing. I'm such a nerd myself, and I really love talking about these things and how we have an ability to affect. TV affects society. We forget that.
100%.
TV is why we're all friends and all together. So
Yeah.
But we forget that we're responsible for the images we put out there.
Yeah.
And that people see things and apply it to their lives, and we can give them things to make their lives better or make their lives worse.
Right.
You know? And I choose to
And
do
they-
the make better.
Right, because they see stuff like that and think, is that all there is for me?
Right.
We cannot be, no one can be happy. We just,
Well, I thought that growing up. I thought,
Yeah.
I obviously can't ever have a girlfriend, and I can't be happy because I
Right.
either have to kill myself, or she has to kill
Terribly.
herself, or we're
Right.
going to have to be in hiding and go live. We can't be in society, and we're
Yeah.
going to hell. There's a lot of hell for my future, and that's all I was told, and so that's really hard on a life to live with that much and carry. I still carry that to this day. I've tried and done all the things, but it's still there. People believe that about
right.
you.
You can't unhear those things when they're
You've
when they're said.
absorbed it.
Yeah.
And to have the opportunity to write something that makes people go, you know what? I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick that. I feel
That
better.
wasn't so hard. Just to,
Yeah, exactly.
make
feel
it
better.
through the end. Yeah.
Doesn't it feel better to think
Yeah.
you can have love and be happy? I'll go with that one.
Yeah. I'll just go with that.
Anyway,
I vote
You're right.
love.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
very much.
Catherine.
Thanks. So good to meet you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we are here with Luce and Meg. You guys are the creators of the Xena. Tell us the name. I don't want to screw up the name of the actual show.
What is the name of the show? It is Xena Warrior Musical, The Lost School.
Yeah.
You can't see that Meg was just mouthing all of that to me, so I didn't mess it up.
Well, that was great. It was very good.
Very helpful.
It's a good friend. Thank you. So you were supposed to debut the show 2 years ago, 2020 Retreat. So 2 years in the making. How do you feel like it went last night? How did it go?
Absolutely, incredibly amazing and great.
Walk us through the process that led you to last night, as far as I know some of the group was new to each other, or how did that go?
Yeah, I mean, the process has been, we did finish the show in 2019. I think we put it down for a little bit, maybe in 2020, and then we had the idea that we'd really like to see it once on its feet from beginning to end, because you never know what the translation from your work on the page is going to be like on a stage. And so we decided to do a very, very small stage concert just to run through everything, and that was in December of last year. And from then until now, we've basically just been pushing really hard to complete all the notes that we knew we wanted to make. Things that didn't work, things that we wrote a couple new songs. We just wanted to make it as best as it could possibly be for this retreat. And then from there we had to cast bi-coastally. That was the thing.
And where are y'all based out of?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn? Okay. Yeah. Both of you. Okay.
Yes, both in Brooklyn. 3 of our actors were actually from New York City, and also our guitarist. So we flew them out here because we just loved the work that they did in December. We wanted them to get a chance to do it again.
The drummer for the show is actually from Wisconsin. That's where I'm from originally. So we flew her out from Wisconsin because she's a huge Xena fan. So the drummer last night has been a long time Xena fan,
That's awesome.
on the old websites and stuff too.
He was a fan fiction writer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so we cobbled together, remotely, this crew of people and tried to set the expectations as best we could for what this was going to be like, and we haven't been to retreat before either.
We were kind of the blind leading the blind.
Yeah,
on that.
I don't know
really
if it was apparent, but I have never produced a musical theater show on a mountain before. I don't know if
I don't think I
could
have
tell.
either. Could you tell?
What did the cast say? Like, okay, here's where you're performing.
Yeah, how'd you
it's
pitch
at a
that?
retreat of Xena fans out in sort of this mountainy amphitheater. I mean, it was such a nice setting, though. I love the setting and the lights and the
Beautiful.
scenery. It was
We got
wonderful.
so lucky with the weather too.
Yeah.
We were a little nervous it was going to be really cold, but it was great.
So we basically were like long emails and a long contract.
Overwhelming amount of text for you to read through.
Just between me and Luce, you were like, should we send another this is what it's going to be like for the actors. Like, just
are we sure they understand what they're signing up for?
Because we would never normally ask actors that we work with in New York to do this much. Come stay in a yurt with us, or we're going to stay with you in the yurt. Come produce this thing in 48 hours where you'll do nothing but work really hard.
It's almost like sitting in the exit row on an airplane. You're sort of like, are you willing and able to help in case of an emergency? I need a verbal yes from you. Like, that's what we did with the actors. We're like, this is going to be a
crazy adventure. We have no idea if you're going to be comfortable. Like, you might be very uncomfortable the entire time, but are you willing to do this adventure? I need a verbal yes.
Yes. And it was a
3 times.
We did ask 3 times, but it was a good litmus test, to your question, because we definitely didn't want the people that were not going to say, this is a once in a lifetime performance opportunity. Hell yes. Yeah. And those were the people that we casted. So it was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Enthusiastic consent.
Yes. We're all about it.
And everybody did that. And I think that the enthusiasm and the dedication to their craft as performers last night really shined through. I thought they did so well.
Yeah, and leading up to, just to talk about the rehearsal process a little bit, leading up to this weekend, we did do some Zoom rehearsals. Like, we tried our best to do that, which is very difficult.
It's literally impossible to
for
do
music. Easier
like,
for me.
Delay? Are you?
Can't do it. So that was a lot of the character groundwork laying. Watch this episode. This scene is really a reference to this episode.
That's cool.
Let's talk about your character. So a lot of that helps lay the groundwork for when we got here. And then once we were all here, we literally have worked all day. All day Friday. The band is amazing. And so dedicated.
Everett and Carmela back there playing all various
playing the
we
violin.
saw her earlier over where you guys were kind of getting set up over there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I just really wanted to be a part of it." And I thought she meant helping you carry things. And
no!
And I looked up and there she was
in the band,
violins, and I thought she was really a part of this.
I don't know how it happened, but I think Carm sent us some emails like, "Hey, I'm preparing. Is there anything else you need? Like a tambourine? You need me to do anything like that?" And I was like, "Yes." And then I sent her a list of like probably 12 different miscellaneous percussion instruments, and I was like, "Do you have any of these? I want you to play all of this." It was really fun. She was just like, "Hell yeah, let's do it."
It's really cool.
So the audience last night is you don't get a better audience than a bunch of Xenites, and obviously everyone, us included, were excited to see the show. Were your performers prepared for the onslaught of love from the Xenites after you were done? Were they like, "Oh wow, that was the best crowd we've ever played to"? Like,
they got all the inside jokes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's the feedback been from the performers?
Yeah, definitely. They loved the experience and thought it was so special and unique. Exactly what you're saying about the jokes. A couple of them at intermission said, "I didn't realize that was funny. What am I even I didn't realize that would be so funny," or whatever it was. And it's just because it was hitting the perfect audience that it was designed for. Exactly. And so that was really satisfying to experience that. We also get to sit in the audience to run the show, which never happens, because that was just what we needed to do for the tech setup. Yeah. And that was a really cool experience too, because we just got to kind of, quietly giggle to each other while everything happened.
You were playing keyboard and conducting, right? Yeah. Which I didn't even know that you were playing keyboard. I just saw occasionally.
Sure. That
And I didn't realize you were also playing when you were
so cool.
conducting or directing the performance.
Yeah.
See, I noticed it, and then half the time I'd be like,
I was
watching you play. There comes the suspenseful music. Yes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
You can see it happening.
Good
Subtle.
Immersive for everyone.
Yes.
Did any of the performers had any of them watched the show prior to this, or did they all have to do the homework?
They all did the homework except for our Xena is very dedicated and understands how special this experience is, and is also just a really great person. Awesome. And once she found out about Retreat happening, was like, I better get to work and try to finish as many episodes as I possibly can.
Awesome.
So her performance is very strongly based in Lucy's performance.
Amazing.
And doesn't she text you sometimes about the episodes and nerds out?
So she texts me out of the blue with no context, and it's always something about the episode she's watching, which is also ridiculous because it's a Xena episode. And I always know exactly what she's watching based on what she says, and I'm like, oh man, so that's my I told her to live tweet everything to my phone. Please, forever, every time you watch Xena.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so Jessie Macbeth is her name. She was she played our Xena at the workshop in New York as well.
So she knew a little bit of what to expect last night because the crowd in New York also loved it, and got most of the jokes, not
all of the inside ones. Like it better not be fish. That one's tough for a non-Xenite
It makes
crowd.
sense technically.
Yeah,
but not,
right.
You know.
Sort of like, no, that is undesirable. I don't know why. It's particularly fish.
Why it's
but,
funny,
Yeah,
but okay.
exactly. But like for the most part, everybody got the jokes and stuff as well. So Jessie knew. Jessie and Patrick Brady, who played Joxer, and
was great.
He
yes,
was incredible.
Yes, and Tara Andujar, who played Ethne. They were all from New York, so they knew a little bit of what to expect.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah, the others I think were a little bit deer in the headlights, especially during the mic check where, you know, we were running a bit behind because we had to schlep all of our equipment and then put everything together, which takes way longer than you think every time.
Oh, I see how long it takes us to do this.
Oh, I know.
I was thinking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord, how long did it
Can't
take them
imagine.
last night with everything?
I know, so we were
many
running late, and then
cables.
the house was basically full for our mic
Yeah.
check, which, you know, never happens.
Not ideal.
And so just from that, when, you know, doing mic checks and everyone in the audience answering like, hello, hi, they were a little looking at me like,
So cool though. That was the most like respectful mic check I've ever been a part of. Everyone was just like,
it was very quiet.
waiting, and then
You don't have
it
to
was
yell
like,
quiet in the house.
hey, hi, and you were just like, hey, hi.
it was great.
It was nice.
There's no audience like a Xena crowd.
No, man.
We've made some videos and things for the Xena crowd, and it's like, it's just
get
a
it.
good, responsive, supportive audience.
Best
that
in the world.
Ready to
is gonna
go.
support you in every way they can.
100%.
It's fantastic.
Especially when you give them what they ultimately want.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Which,
What is
you know,
that?
I don't want to give any spoilers,
I know.
but you know, there is a kiss at the end. It is not between Joxer and anyone, but
No,
between
surprisingly
Xena
not.
and Gabrielle. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, they kind of throw a twist in, like, oh, you think it's going to end without it, and then it goes back.
You like the false ending.
Glad you
guys.
appreciate
I'm
that.
glad you appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Thank you so much.
So what happens with this show now? What's next on your kind of journey with this show?
You're not the first person to ask us that today. We're a little bit like, I don't know.
Yeah, we're a little overwhelmed by it.
Overwhelmed by in a good way, by people's
Enjoy this.
enthusiasm with where it's going next. But we also, you know, need to think about it. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fair
we right now we're in talks with a venue in Brooklyn,
Awesome.
who is definitely willing to host us. I think it's a question of just funding and just making sure we have the right funding for it, because setting up a full production and making sure we pay everybody appropriately
Right. Yeah,
for
of
their
course.
time.
Yes.
You know,
Very
it
important
it costs a lot to treat performers well. Actually, you know what I mean? And I think performers are really taken for granted because of their love of the craft
and undervalued. So we
really want to make sure that that we never take
anybody for granted and pay everybody what they're worth
for anything that we do. So we need to figure out where the money's coming from.
Sure.
But logistically,
Anyone listening out there?
I know.
That's
Hit us up.
we know how to produce shows. We just need the money to do it. So
Well, how
we're very
can they
excited.
reach out if someone wants to support in any way, you know, financially or, you know, because
Sure.
what's the best way to just even like a website or a way to contact you?
Yeah, we have a website at XenaWarriorMusical.com. Is that right, Meg?
Yes.
Thank you. Just making sure. There's a contact form on there, and you can also get to our socials and kind of contact us through any of those ways as
Yeah,
well.
we run all the socials right now. We're
At Xena Warrior Musical on Instagram. We're at Xena Musical on Twitter.
and it's /Xena Warrior Musical on Facebook.
Wow, you knew all of those right at the
impressive.
top of
It's
your
very
head.
impressive.
I think the next step is definitely getting this on its feet, because if we want to move forward, we've done a lot of workshopping and problem solving and figuring out what is happening with the actual material.
Yeah.
But now it needs to happen because we're working with fight scenes, which there has to be fight scenes in the Xena musical.
Sure.
Musical theater doesn't really do fight
You
scenes.
can't
So
just hold the piece of paper up.
no,
That really well.
By the way, and I love the masks going from
mask.
character
Oh,
to.
good.
I love
Much,
that.
yes.
Like once I saw what they were doing, I was like,
Brilliant.
"That's really cool." It's,
It's
just
very
very simple,
clever.
especially Jocks are the bad guy. I mean, it made sense.
Made it special.
It was easy
made
to follow.
It gave it a little, something.
Yeah, I like that. I
Good.
like
It was
that.
very, very cool. Very effective.
All of this feedback and like it being effective too. That's one of the things that we don't know that until people are responding to
People
it,
are seeing
watching
it.
and we've
Yeah.
only done it. This is the second time we've ever done it, so it's really wonderful to hear
Yeah,
what
we've been-
worked and what didn't work.
by ourselves, just being like, is this one good?
Is
Should
this
we
clever?
do this? I don't know.
Creative choice.
The two
Well,
of
I would
us.
say that's like I don't see enough like theater like in this stage where I thought maybe this is just how all theater's done. It's like the mask says I'm not my main character, and it's just
But it
something
was
y'all
just
just
really
came up with
clever.
for this.
Oh,
or it's
yeah.
like, I thought maybe
Yeah,
this is a
Luce just
theater
came up with it.
standard, but it worked. It was good.
It really did, and
Yeah.
it added like
Brilliant.
a different level of difficulty to it that you kind of
Right,
really
right.
appreciated throughout. Once you kind of you set it up nicely for the audience to get what's happening, and then
Oh, yeah.
it's like, oh, they're a different person now. Okay,
Yeah.
who are they? That's so it was a lot of
perfect.
fun.
You know what's pretty funny about that is that we were just trying to problem solve, and you were like, well, okay, we need some sort of visual cue, but it can't be a whole prop.
Right.
I've actually
Can't be
had
a
this
costume
conversation
change.
a
Yeah.
lot. Like, why weren't there any props? Why weren't there any costumes? Because, as Luce says all the time, you open the floodgates,
Yeah.
and then where does it end?
Yeah.
Right. Well, because once you set the rules of your world, you can't break them because that's what we're all meeting in the middle, like in that world that we've built. And
Right.
so, for me, that's just my directorial preference is to have stage readings be pared down and focus, like make sure it's text forward, music forward,
Right.
and
Material.
everything else is just whatever is necessary to make the story clear. And if you're making choices in service of that, then it's harder to go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't miss props,
No.
It totally worked. I didn't feel like, what would make this better?
Right.
The props.
Right.
No, it was
A
like,
shock
that
room
was
flying
really funny,
around.
the way with the paper's being passed.
Yeah.
It was really
The
great.
random Argo winnies.
The winnies, the little bit of the sound effects, really,
good.
were
So
nice.
good.
gods going in and
They're
out.
like little
the
nuggets that
potions.
you're just waiting when you heard it. It was nice.
Well, hopefully we'll have a real puppet Argo, full
That
size,
is the dream.
rideable.
Well, I saw one
puppets.
around
Yeah, there was a centaur.
yesterday.
Or something.
Well, an actual
really?
Argo, like walking around,
Oh.
standing up with an Argo.
I think it was a
head.
llama.
Wow.
Oh,
No, that was a
okay.
llama.
I saw
It can be an Argo if that's what you saw. That's
Whatever
what it
you
was.
want it to be,
I
Wendy. I'm
saw
sorry.
a discarded llama costume.
in one
In
of
the
the rooms. I
riverbed or
forget
something.
where.
We're piecing it together like a murder mystery.
Yeah,
now.
we are.
What information you know? Yeah.
His idea was the shots at intermission.
I
That
don't.
was a fun little
don't know.
twist.
I don't know.
Oh,
I think
not y'all's.
No, that was our idea, but I
it
don't
was.
remember.
I
I think.
think-
Sorry. No, you go.
No, it's okay.
It started
So,
with
like,
shot glasses.
Started with shot glasses.
There
We
you
were
go.
trying to come up with merch ideas.
Okay.
Oh,
I
nice.
liked it. I
Brilliant.
liked the little intermission Aphrodite
also-
shot.
And we
That
thought
was
it would be
nice.
fun if it came with a shot, and then
Very cool.
we were like, of course, it has to be expression.
Yeah.
I feel like people bought a lot of them. I mean, I just saw a lot of people. I bought two. We all bought two.
We did.
Yay.
So that was fun.
Two was the way to go.
Oh yeah.
Gotta go too.
Got to have a backup.
I hope
Spills. No.
I hope this is a compliment. I can absolutely see this show as sort of like a Rocky Horror situation where you go multiple times. There's callbacks from the audience. There's participate. Like
Yeah.
this, I could in my mind. I see this show having a life for a long time and going again. And the groaning like, Xena, just fucking kiss her.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Did you hear it? I was.
Was that you? That was you, wasn't it?
Like the show had just started. I mean,
I know it did just start when
Tara-
they first looked
yeah.
at each other.
Kiss her. Yeah.
Oh my
Build up
gosh.
to it. It was always.
It's begging for
Yeah, it was.
participation from the
Yeah.
audience.
I think
like, just
so.
the way
I
that
think
it's
it
written.
does.
It's
Yeah.
just like we're part of the show.
Yeah.
Right. It did feel that way.
Yeah.
That was one thing that when so you were busy setting up the board and Penny came over to me. She goes, "How do you want me to
Well, I told her to make my
prep everybody?"
Can you make my curtain speech for me? I can't do it. I'm stuck in here and I can't get out.
But then she came over to me and she was like, "What do I do? What would
Luce say? And I was like, I don't.
I don't know. She does all the curtain speeches. I don't know.
She does the curtain speeches. But then she came over to you.
Yeah.
And one of the important things is to let the audience know that we want you to participate and be loud and rowdy about
Awesome.
it.
Okay,
and
good.
I'm really glad that you remembered that should be part of the curtain
Yeah,
speech.
it's imperative. I think it is imperative for this particularly. And I mean, to be totally honest, what we're thinking about for a full run, it would be something that wasn't totally proscenium setting, seats, and maybe not your traditional theater setup. I think that exactly what you're saying about the Rocky Horror, which I think is a compliment. Thank you for it.
Absolutely.
People love to have a run like a Rocky Horror.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And I think I think the audience needs to be able to be on their feet, maybe move around, move closer to things, away from things, interact with characters, maybe not just during the play. We have some ideas about it, so it'd be something we would like to explore in this next version.
Right. So plug your contact info one more time. How can people support you guys?
Sure, it's XenaWarriorMusical.com. We've got a contact form on there. We've got links out to everything from that website, XenaWarriorMusical.com.
800-588. I'm sorry. That's not our phone number. But yeah, we're on Instagram, Twitter. If you just search Xena Musical, you should get us on basically everything, except for TikTok. We're not on TikTok.
We're too old for that.
It's good for you guys. Anything else? No. Any questions?
No, that was great. We just loved it.
Yeah.
We just really enjoyed it.
So
glad we had
good.
to talk to you and come and stay the night and see it.
Yeah.
And once we found out that the musical was Saturday night, we're like, well, there's no way we're leaving.
No,
we have to stay the night. We're not missing the musical.
Please put us in a yurt. We have to watch the musical.
Please put us in a yurt.
So yeah, everybody really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to watch, and can't wait to see where it goes next.
Yeah, good
Thank
luck.
you so much.
You've earned the right to take a little break.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Right. Don't
Thank
think
you.
about it.
So great chatting with you.
You guys are
Yeah.
awesome. And
Thanks
we'd
for
love to
inviting
have you
us.
back as, sort of you keep going on the journey. We'd love to have you back.
Of course.
Sounds great.
Anytime. You just
All right.
call us, let us know.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So we've had such a great time at the retreat. We will definitely be back. And it's been a great weekend.
Yeah. Check out. We'll post some pictures and all the stuff.
All the things.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on
Twitter.
Yeah.
At SNOPpodcast with 1D.
and on Facebook and Instagram at She Nerds Out Podcast.
You can send us an email at shenerdsout@gmail.com or go to shenerdsout.com. It's one stop snopping.
All your snopping needs. All right. We have a special guest snop listening sign off. So all together now, I think you know how this goes. She Nerds Out!
She nerds out. We're girls that like nerdy things. Nerdy things.
I'm excited for this episode.